All right. Hi, everyone. Good morning. I say morning. I guess it's noon. Everyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Wonderful. Hope everybody's doing okay. Um, all right. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I know this last week for some folks has been really tumultuous, especially with the COVID stuff and then rush. And I don't know, there's like a million things you guys are dealing with. So I want you to know if you find yourself stressing and you feel behind on anything, you just reach out to me. I can Zoom with you and we will work it out. Okay. Even if you are like, say you're really behind in some of your work, we will work out a schedule for you. Okay. I'm here, and Miss Black, we're both here to make sure that you're successful. I hope everybody can see my screen. You're going to see here, our Zoom expectations for the class. Main thing is, guys, just try to find a quiet place for class today, since we're trying to avoid too much disruption. We're going to have roll call today. If you remember last week, you told us where you were from and what your current entertainment binge is all about. This week, when I call your name, if you'll talk to us a little bit about your pets, maybe here or back home, what their names are. You can tell us some little stories. If you want to, just try to keep it sort of brief so that we don't spend too much class time on roll call. I'm Miss B, the teacher for the class, and I have a lot of pets, and I'm actually holding one right now. This is the Foster that we've just taken in. So I haven't named it because, once you name it, you claim it, and I don't need to claim it. I've got too many other pets. But I thought I'd tell y'all a story real quick about my rabbit. His name is Peter. Okay, can y'all see this picture of my rabbit with my chicken? So Peter Rabbit is obsessed with my chickens, like in very odd, weird ways. He actually thinks that he's their rooster, and it's all very, very strange. So at one point, I found the behavior so disturbing that I put him back in his hutch and tried to give him a chicken stuffed animal so that he would grow attached to it. And he didn't. He was so lonely for the other chickens that now we just let him free range. So because I just, I can't take it. I don't want him to be lonely, and he loves the chickens too much. So that's my pet story. What about you, Miss Black?
That's real funny. Peter cannot be fooled. So I've never really had any pets, but my great grandmother was alive most of my childhood, and she had this little teacup poodle the whole time I was a kid. And when she went to the nursing home, my sister and I were supposed to inherit this dog, but he just kind of disappeared. He went to go live, I think, with her hairdresser's daughter or something, so I never got to see him again, but that's as close as I've ever come to having a pet.
Oh, that's a perfect little pet too. All right, what about Sarah?
I don't have any pets, but we take care of this, like, I guess you can say, like, a stray cat. She kind of just, like, comes to our house, and we, like, got her a place to, like, stay in the cold when we feed her, but she comes and goes.
Yes. Hey guys, there are campus strays. We call them like the campus kitties. So if you're walking around campus, you might see the cats, and they kind of get fed around campus. I know there are a bunch of them around the library. All right, what about Braden?
Hey, I have two dogs. I have one, which is Sage. She's a black lab. And then I just got a new puppy like 2 months ago. His name is Kimbo.
Oh, I bet he was so hard to leave.
Yeah, it was tough.
Oh, all right. What about Sam?
I actually have two bull mastiffs, and the
Whoa.
names are Buck and Big.
Buck and Big, and they are huge.
They're like, I think Buck is 140 and Big's like 120.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I've always wanted a real big dog, but we don't have a big enough place for a big dog. All right, what about Ethan?
I have a dog. His name is Uke, and he's a little Shih Tzu.
Oh, uke like ukulele?
No, our neighbor is Japanese,
Uh-huh.
and we were trying to come up with a name for him. And Yuke in Japanese is white, and he's like a little white dog. So we said we should name him Yuke.
That is cute. I love it. All right, what about Esther?
Hi, I have two Chihuahuas, Chihuahua and Dachshund mixed, Carson and Cruz, and they come from the same litter. Nothing really. I mean, there's a lot of funny things about them, but I can't think of any stories at the moment.
Oh, I bet they're so cute. My husband loves dachshunds. He grew up with one named Sophie, so he's obsessed with dachshunds.
They're great cuddlers. So.
Yeah. Oh. What about Hayes?
So I have one dog that's a Havasu, which is a mix between a Havanese and a Shih Tzu. So she's a little dog. Her name is Bella. And no funny stories really come to mind, but she does know how to play rock, paper, scissors. She's not real good, though. She always throws paper.
Oh, my gosh. You need to send us a video. She always throws paper. That's so cute. All right. What about Reese?
I have a dog. His name is Harley. No real funny stories come to mind because he's a pretty relaxed dog.
Oh, I like Harley. That's a cute name. What about Griffin? Is Griffin here today? All right. What about Maria?
So I have a lot of family animals because we own a farm. So I have like 14 horses, a bunch of pigs, well over 100 chickens.
Oh, wow.
Goats, sheep, all that. But like personally, like those are like family animals. Personally, I have one pit bull, and his name's Diablo. He's, everyone thinks of like pit bulls as aggressive, but he's like the sweetest dog. And like he's kind of dumb, and he'll just like run into walls, and he just doesn't get stuff. And I raise rabbits, so I have like 10 rabbits.
Oh, fun! I love that his name's Diablo too. I used to have a husky named Malice, and it was like the sweetest dog ever, but its name was Malice. So this is funny. Okay, what about Rosa? I know Rosa has a dog.
So I have 5 dogs and a lizard. This is Shanko. We're playing fetch, I guess. I didn't know that. He thinks he's a lap dog, so he always tries to crawl on top of me, even though he's about 100 pounds.
Oh, love it. But he's beautiful.
Thank you. And he loves chicken.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
People with chicken beware on campus.
I bet. All right. What about Maddie? Maddie Mulligan. Okay. What about Micaiah?
Hi. I don't have any pets, actually.
That's okay. It's okay. My husband hates pets. So, some people don't want animals.
I like pets.
Oh.
I just don't have any.
Now, one day you can have whatever you want. All right. What about Wesley? We have Wesley. What about Alex?
Okay, so I have 3 cats. One's name is Lola, one is Rascal, and one is Juan Carlos. And Juan Carlos is actually a girl, but I didn't know that at the time. And then I have one dog, he's a beagle, and his name is Ace.
Does Juan Carlos come from Juan Carlos from Bachelor?
Juan Carlos, there was a guy at my school, my high school, his name was Juan Carlos, and he was just like the funniest, I think he was like in 7th grade, my senior year. He was just like the funniest little guy ever, so that's what it's from.
That's your namesake. How cute. Love it. Love cats. Love cats. What about Hannah?
My dog's actually right next to me. He's right there. That's Rebel. Yeah, so I have Rebel and Rosie.
Rebel and Rosie. Rebel is so appropriate to be here at
Yeah.
UM. Oh, good. Love it. What about Julia? Hey, Julia, you might be on mute. I can see you, but I can't hear you. What about Brooke? Julia, we'll come back to you.
So I have 3 dogs. My sister has 2 of them, and I hate them. They're so obnoxious. But I have a dog, and it's a Yorkie, and her name's Abby. And I begged my mom to let me take her to Oxford, and she said no. So my sister sends me pictures of her every day, and it makes me want to cry. But I love my dog.
You miss her. I know you miss her. All right. What about Sarah Tabor?
I have 3 dogs. 2 of them are Chihuahuas, and their names are Max and Sophie. And then I have a black lab that we just got like a year ago, come Labor Day, and his name is Sam.
Oh, very big size difference between those, I bet. All right. And what about Kevin?
I have a dog. Her name's Martha. She's like 8 years old, I think.
Okay. And did you say her name's Martha? Your sound's kind of weird.
It's kind of messed up. I had to go to like
No problem. No problem.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Julia, are you there? We couldn't hear you a minute ago. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for sharing. We try to have a little icebreaker each week just to get to know each other a little better. And we all love our animals, our fur babies, and I know you're probably missing them right now. What you'll see on your screen now is our inclusive classroom practices. We went over these last week, so we're not going to do it again. But I just want you to know they're sort of our shared set of beliefs for class, and you can access those on Blackboard under our Bitmoji classroom. Just some reminders on how we do school remotely, just because we did have a lot of questions last week as all of y'all were getting kind of adjusted to class and all of your different classes and their expectations. Remember, your most important asset to knowing what's happening today and every class day is your calendar. And that calendar can be found in Blackboard under Unit 1. And I've also emailed it to you a few times. But essentially the calendar, just pull it up real quick. It's the document that has the 3 columns. So it tells you what we're doing in class that day. So here's our class for today. And then what your homework is for the next class. Okay, so don't forget, if you have any questions about how to find this or how to read it and understand it, then you can come see me during office hours. I'll be available today from 1 to 3. Okay. The RET Lab modules, I probably didn't talk enough about those last Monday. Essentially, that's the only course material that you guys have to pay for. It's located in Blackboard. So the way you can access the RET Lab modules, there are 3 tabs over here. The first one is our Bitmoji classroom and sort of all of our class information, like our syllabus and stuff. Then right below that is the RET Lab module list. If I go to student view, you guys will see them listed there. The first one that we did last week was rhetorical reading. Guys, don't worry about what you make on the quiz. Some people were really worried because they didn't pull back the kind of score that they wanted. The quizzes are really just a complete or incomplete on my end. It's more that I want you to take the modules like those study plans and try to figure out, okay, how does this apply to what we're doing this week? So last week was on rhetorical reading, and last week we were working so hard to read through our common read, right? And to think about it critically. This week, you're going to be doing the evaluating sources module, and that's because we'll be dabbling a little bit in Unit 1 with some research, and it's really important to know what kind of source you can trust and use for an academic paper, and what kind of sources are more like popular sources or sources that would lack the kind of credibility that would be expected of an academic paper. So you guys have the week to do the RET Lab module, so you will have until Friday of this week to finish that one, okay? Any questions about the RET Lab modules? Okay. Don't forget too that we only Zoom on Mondays, okay? You're not gonna be Zooming on Wednesdays or Fridays. Wednesdays and Fridays, the way that you'll access class will be through the class blog, our class videos, and then the class discussions that we have underneath. If you struggled with that at all last week, like how do I access it? How do I comment? How do I reply to other people? Again, come see me during office hours and I will walk you through the entire process, okay? Now, if you have your calendar out or you're taking notes, the only exception to Monday session will actually happen next week because next Monday is Labor Day. So for next week only, we are going to have a Zoom session on Wednesday. Okay, and I will send you a reminder next week about that. But since Monday's Labor Day and all of you will be off that day, we will have a Zoom session next Wednesday. And you can access that through the same Monday session link that you used for class today. Okay, are there any questions about that? All right, and then last, you see under announcements here, it says your blog title. For your personal blog, some people have already done this, but when you're commenting on the class blog, if you don't change your site identity to be your full name, it shows up as your username. Now, I know your usernames and I can give you credit, but it'd be better, since your classmates are replying to you, to use your, change your site identity to your first and last name. So you could say something like Amber Buckley's blog or Amber Buckley's Writing 101 blog or something like that. So to do that, I've given you some instructions here. You basically go to your dashboard in your personal blog space and then choose Appearance and Customize, and then go to Site Identity and you can change it there. Okay, now this is not something you have to do like this second, but just as you get time, go in and change that so that I can see your full name and so can your classmates. Okay. All right, now it's time for our first mindful session. So I talked last week about mindfulness and how I've started to make it a part of my writing classroom practice. Started this last year with a lot of positive feedback from students who had never really practiced mindfulness before. And so we're going to do it, even though we're virtual, we're going to do it together on Mondays. All of it is in an attempt to help you with stress reduction and mental focus and clarity, which can really help you with your academics, and then also to help you reduce negative thoughts. A lot of times we tend to vacillate between the past and the present. So when we're thinking about the past, a lot of times we might be thinking about it with regret, or worry or guilt. And when we think about the future, a lot of times that's when we get really anxious. So this week you might be thinking about rush that's happening. You might be thinking about all your classwork. Maybe you're behind on your reading for this class. When you think so much about the future, it really makes you unproductive in the present. And so mindfulness is an exercise where we can kind of train our brains to bring ourselves back to the present. Okay, so we're going to do our first one right now. It might feel weird, guys, and that's okay. But what you'll do, I'll play it from my end. It's going to be a guided meditation. She's going to have you visualize some things and then do some breathing exercises. It'll only be about 5 minutes. I'm going to have my camera open just so you can see kind of how I do when I'm going through a session. But you guys are welcome to mute your camera if you're just a little self-conscious about someone seeing you as you're going through this practice. I do want you to get in a really comfortable position. She will tell you at the beginning that you can lie down. I suggest not lying down if you're prone to going to sleep with something like this, but instead it can help you to sit up nice and straight. I always close my eyes, and you guys can also turn the lights off maybe in your room, or try to get the lighting nice for a 5-minute meditation here. Is everybody ready? All right, here we go.
Lay down or sit comfortably. And start by focusing your attention on your breathing. Feeling as your chest moves naturally inwards and outwards. Your mind may be busy with fearful or uncomfortable thoughts right now. See these thoughts as clouds in the sky passing by. Acknowledge them, but allow them to float past as you bring your attention back to your breath, breathing effortlessly and naturally, feeling the gentle flow in and out of your nostrils. And as you continue to breathe with ease, feel a soothing golden light as it flows throughout your whole body, flowing down through the top of your head and gently passing all the way down through the center of your body into the bottom of your feet until it reaches the tips of your toes. And as this golden light flows down, it releases any feelings of tension or anxiety that you may be holding on to, working on a deep level to bring a state of relaxation and peace to every cell in your body. And as you feel this golden light move through the whole of your body, repeat after me, either in your mind or out loud. Calm and stillness, each time with each number. 1. Calm and stillness. 2. Calm and stillness. 3. Calm and stillness. 4. Calm and stillness. 5. Calm and stillness. Realize that any unpleasant thoughts are not you. You have overcome them in the past. You have the strength and awareness to overcome them again. You are always changing, and with awareness and peace, these unpleasant thoughts will fade in time. Just continue to breathe naturally and effortlessly, feeling the airflow gently in and out of your nostrils, and feel a soothing lightness throughout your whole body. And now we're going to repeat it one last time. This time we're going to use the words awareness, peace. 5. Awareness, peace. 4. Awareness, peace. 3. Awareness, peace. 2. Awareness, peace. 1. Awareness, peace. Now bring your attention back to the soothing, golden energy as it continues to flow through the whole of your body, allowing it to gently swirl through the center of your being, helping you to feel a continued sense of peace and calm. Sense as your breath moves in and out of your body, your chest slowly moving up and down effortlessly. As you become aware, peace will return. Remain in this sense of peace and allow yourself to let go. Bring your awareness back to the room you're in and slowly open your eyes. Keep breathing deeply and slowly as your awareness fully returns now, remaining centered balanced, and calm. I hope you've enjoyed this 5-minute meditation.
All right, guys. I hope that was calming. A lot of people in their blogs last week were talking about, especially the meme of the day, Daily Write for last Friday, talking about how anxious they're feeling right now. And so making mindfulness a part of your practice can really help you in dealing with that. And on our Bitmoji classroom, I give you a link to some UCLA Mindfulness Center mindfulness sessions if any of you want to make that a part of your practice. All right, what we're going to do now that we've come out of that, and like I said, if it felt really weird or almost made you anxious to do it this first time because you really haven't participated in that before, that is okay. We're going to do it together each week, and you might find that your practice kind of changes from week to week. So let's go ahead and get into our daily write for today. So if you'll go ahead and pull up your blog space, your personal one. And what I'd like you to do first is go to last week's, so a week ago today, it was for your very first post. And in that post, you wrote a little bit about your journey that brought you here to University of Mississippi. And then you made 3 goals for this week, or this past week, an academic, social, and personal goal. What I want you to do is check in with yourself. So write for a little bit about how you're doing this week after you've made it through your first week of college. And then I want you to make new goals. Now, they may be connected to the goals you made this week, or you might be more specific this week. Say last week it was, I want to make an A in this class. This week you might try to be more concrete, like I want to do well in this class, so I'm going to try to get my work done on time every day this week, okay? I'm going to set our timer for 3 minutes while you write, and then afterward we'll have some time to share, okay? So everybody know what to do? Are there any questions? All right, I'm getting to your daily write.
How do you find the daily write again?
The prompt, or how do you get to your own daily write?
My own.
Your own? Okay, go to Ed Blogs. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm on my blog.
Okay, at the top, do you see where the little plus sign is? You can do add new post.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, guys, I know a lot of y'all are still working, but if you've kind of finished up, others take a minute to finish up. And while they are, if we could have a moment for a couple of us to share sort of how you're doing this week, what kind of goals you want to set, that sort of thing. I can start. Last week, I wanted to make sure that I was active for 30 minutes every day. That was sort of a goal that I made for myself. And this week I've been using the excuse of, well, if when I'm with my kid and we're like outside playing ball or something, then that's being active, but it's really not. I mean, I need 30 minutes a day, to be honest, separated from my child being active to kind of put me in a good headspace. So that's sort of my realization from the week, I guess. Can I get a couple of you to share?
I'll go.
Yeah.
So do you want me to just read it?
Sure.
Okay, well, so a little bit stressed. I'm like behind on all of my classes, because last week was super stressful. We had to move out of our dorms and had no idea where to go when we had to move. My parents had to fly down to help us move to an Airbnb. I got corona. I had to drive 8 hours home, and I barely got any work done all week. So.
Oh no, I am so sorry.
Okay.
How are you feeling?
I can't. Well, I've been better, but my symptoms have gotten better. I've had headaches all week, but yesterday I figured out I can't smell or taste anything, so that's fine.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Listen, we take your time. The main thing is to get yourself better. It's going to be hard to focus on your academics until you're better. Kind of think about that Maslow's needs, right? You have to be better before you can really get into the academic stuff.
Yeah.
And I will certainly work with you, but I know you're a professor.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, come in during office hours if you want to, or you may have already emailed me. Did you email me?
And I was going to today after this class.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll work things out, but I know right now the main concern is you need to get better. Okay. Guys, I actually got a COVID test a few days ago. I was having cold symptoms. I was negative for COVID, but I have a double ear infection of all things. So right now it's just an anxiety riddled time. So y'all take care of yourselves. Will someone else share?
I can share.
Yeah.
I said my goal last week was to succeed academically and socially. I talked about making new friends, which I have so far. I finished all my schoolwork and had a good start to the year. For this week, my goal is to make some more friends while keeping up with my school work. Lastly, I want to start using the rec center, the Turner Center, to get more exercise in.
Yeah, good, good. I'm telling you that physical activity does wonders for our brains. And, you know, we think it's just for our bodies, but it actually, sometimes when I feel most tired, if I get in a little like elliptical session or something, I feel tons better than if I took that time to take a nap, which I know is funny. You would think like, oh, a nap will help you feel less tired, but actually exercise can boost your energy. So that's a great goal. I'm glad you're making friends too. Y'all, if you're not making friends, I get it. I hated freshman year and it took me forever to make friends. So it'll get better. And if you ever need to chat about that, just let me know, because it can be really hard when you're not kind of finding your niche. Okay, we're going to keep going just for lack of time. But guys, thank you so much for sharing and participating in mindfulness today. And like I said, if you want to start making it a part of your practice, there are some resources for you on our Bitmoji classroom. All right, now we're going to talk about our first assignment. You guys have actually already started working on your assignment. You just don't know it yet because I haven't gone over it yet. But a part of the assignment is to read our book, and we are scheduled to finish the book by Wednesday. I know we've flown through it. Some of you may be behind. That's okay. Take your time. Maybe find a place that's nice and peaceful to read and try to catch up. But the schedule is to try to finish by Wednesday. I'm going to go over our Unit 1 assignment and show you where it is. And this would be a great time for you to download this assignment to your computer and take notes about any questions that you have. And here we go. Let's get started. To find it, you're going to go to Blackboard. Sorry, let me back up a little bit. Okay. Over here in Blackboard, you have our class information, then those RET Lab modules, and then right below that, this Unit 1 tab. So we are in Unit 1 right now. You have your calendar, or you should at this point. When you click into Unit 1, that's what will show up first, okay? If you scroll past the calendar, the next thing you'll see is the assignment sheet for this unit, okay? Remember, our units last a long time. So this first unit lasts 4 weeks. We are just 1 week into it, okay? So the assignment is going to be due at the end of that unit. So this essay, it's a project that will end in an essay, is not due until 3 weeks from now. So that might shock some of you if you got essay assignments in high school that you maybe had 20 minutes to write, or you had like a week to work on. We spread ours out because one of the aspects of this class, one of our course prerogatives, I guess, is to look at writing as a process that actually takes a lot of time and a lot of feedback and a lot of pushback. And so that's what you're going to experience in the next couple of weeks as we kind of hone in on what you're going to write about. So I'm going to click on that PDF. Like I said, you can download it to your desktop if you want to. And kind of take notes, but at the top it says here Unit 1 assignment, and it is on our Common Read. So at the top you see these 2 quotes. I always like to start stuff, even our calendars usually start with epigraphs. Epigraphs are these quotes that kind of tie into or get your, it's almost like you get you in the mindset of what's going to come, okay? This first quote is about how some of our best work, so the work that we do that kind of honors who we are, comes from our own curiosity, okay? So for this project, even though this book is about a whole bunch of things, what I want you concerned about is what you're most curious about as you're reading. So the thing that you're like, man, I want to know more about that, okay? So everybody's essay is going to be sort of different. It's going to be based on their own interests. Then there's this long epigraph. This comes from the prologue of the book, and it's where Dr. Mona is talking about, sure, this book is going to be about this water crisis, but it's also about these other crises that our country is facing right now. And she lists them. She talks about a breakdown in democracy, a disintegration of critical infrastructure due to inequality, environmental injustice that disproportionately affects the poor and Black, the abandonment of civic responsibility, etc. Right? So she's looking at all kinds of problems as she's telling the story of what happened in Flint, Michigan. And so some of the things here, maybe her experiences as a child of immigrants, that's not necessarily as interesting to you personally as environmental injustice is, because maybe you've never considered like that there is such a thing as injustice that deals with one's environment. So I want you honing in on what interests you, okay? As we go through the assignment sheet too, it says, why do we do this project first? Well, essentially it's to show you that writing is a process and that process starts with inquiry. Inquiry is your own curiosity, what you want to discover, okay? We also start with it because we use the Common Read, and you should also start using the Common Read in your EDHE class. So you're gonna see the Common Read in some of your different first-year classes too. All right, this is the part you really want to pay attention to, because this is the question you're answering as you explore what you're going to write in your essay, okay? It says this project will be segmented into parts. and the handouts are attached. So if you scroll down below, you'll actually see part 1, part 2, and it goes down. So this is a pretty long document. The end product of this work will be an academic essay in MLA format that explores the following question. What aspect of Hannah Atisha's book challenges your previously conceived notions about this country? And it can be social ideas, economic ideas, environmental ideas, even more than that. It can also be intersections of those ideas. So you might be really interested in like how one's environment really affects their social class, okay? And then through further research about these issues, what have you learned? So this is the question you're grappling with for this assignment, okay? So it says here, what do I do first in this assignment? Well, the first thing you do is read the book, okay? So if you're behind on the book, you want to catch up. The second thing you do is as you're reading, you're taking notes on things that kind of open your eyes, right? What about this book is making you curious to know more? Next, you're going to research an outside source that's teaching you about this inquiry, okay? Now, you're welcome to use sources that I've already thrown at you, like these TED Radio Hour sources, but you can also find one on your own, okay? And then lastly, you will write an essay around a central claim about your point of inquiry or interest. In this essay, you will be using 2 sources to make a fair and logical argument about an issue of your choosing. One source must be our book. The second source is up to you, okay? The format of the paper, and of course we'll be talking about this later when we start drafting, but it'll be a traditional kind of academic paper in MLA format with a minimum of 3 pages and a works cited page. Okay, but don't worry about the formatting yet. Right now is kind of the inquiry and the brain work. Next week we'll start drafting. Okay. Now, if you go to our calendar, what you need to do for Wednesday, you're going to finish the book. You've got another TED Radio Hour piece, and it's on trauma and how it affects a child's DNA. And then I want you to complete parts 1 and 2 of the assignment sheet. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the assignment sheet. Part 1 is inquiry. It's basically where you're going to brainstorm a whole bunch of questions, things that you're just really interested in. We're going to collect those questions in our class discussion on Wednesday and kind of respond to them. And then part 2 is how to evaluate a source. Okay, so how to make sure that a source that you would use for this paper is a credible source or one that can be trusted. And we're actually going to use the TED Radio Hour piece that you guys are going to listen to for Wednesday. We're going to use that as our kind of sample for how do we take that source and then evaluate its effectiveness. Okay, so that's all I want you to do for Wednesday. Notice you do not have to turn that in anywhere. This is just happening in your notes, and you'll take your notes that you've prepared, bring them to the class blog on Wednesday, and you'll use them to kind of write your response on Wednesday. Okay, look at number 4. It says complete the evaluating sources RET Lab module by the end of the day this Friday. Okay, and notice too, the evaluating sources one is kind of supplementing this work we're doing in the assignment when we're looking at sources for their credibility. Okay, I'm opening it up now for questions. What are y'all's questions about this assignment? Everybody good?
So we need to read the whole book and then start on the first assignment?
Yes, you're going to finish the book, okay? And when you say start on the assignment, yes, we're doing part 1 of the assignment, which is inquiry, and part 2, which is how do we evaluate a source, okay?
And when did you say those are due?
Those are due for class discussion on Wednesday. Same thing, we're going to go to the class blog. You'll watch my little lecture and then you'll respond, okay? And you'll use these notes from the assignment sheet as you write your response.
Okay, and if I didn't do my stuff from last week, can I go back and do it?
You can. Guys, if you need to make up anything from last week, once you've made it up, just email me that you have, and that will signal me to get back into the space and check. Okay? Because generally after a day or two after the discussion, I'm not getting back into the discussion. So just send me an email that says I've made up this work. You can check it. Okay? Any other questions? I see there's some chat stuff going on. Are there any questions in the chat that y'all want to ask for the full class? For some reason it's not letting me get up there. There we go. Maybe it's something I didn't have him more often. Oh, okay. That's looking like some chat questions about maybe what your interest is and stuff like that. Guys, if y'all want to start chatting about what you want to write about, we could do that during office hours today from 1 to 3 if you want to get into that link. Some of you already know, like, this is what's interesting me most from the book. And that's fine. We can sort of start mapping that out.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is for the paper, is there going to be like a certain amount of like quote, like we need like a minimum of quotes or anything like that?
There will not. So we don't function that way. The more now, you don't necessarily even have to have direct quotes. Sometimes you might paraphrase or summarize from a source. You'd still have to cite that source, obviously. But the more direct evidence, the more credible your claims are. I've been talking to y'all about that in the class blog discussion boards, when people have posted and they're just kind of referencing the sources, but they're not like actually putting in evidence. The more evidence you have, the better, right? Because that's building your credibility as a writer. But no, there won't be, I know some high school teachers will say we have to have like a certain number of direct quotes per paragraph or something like that. No. I want you to provide evidence for what you're saying, and how you do that is going to be up to you. Does that make sense?
Ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And we'll be talking about that a lot more next week, guys, as we start really drafting this paper. Right now, we're really just finishing the book and brainstorming things to write about. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, Micaiah.
Where can I find a computer? It's really stressing me out, like bad.
Yes, I get it. Micaiah, email me, and I'm going to forward that email to our tech guy in our department. You can actually check out laptops from our department. I don't know what the procedure is right now because of kind of shutting down, COVID and all of that stuff. But I do know you guys can rent computers from the department.
Okay, thank you.
And also, you can use, is the library open, guys?
I'm not sure. I asked Miss Jackie, and she told me to just come to her office. I needed to print something off, so I don't know.
Well, do go see Miss Jackie because she's wonderful. But the library, if the library is open, you can use those computers. They probably have reduced hours, and they may be having y'all spaced out, but you can use those too. I see here it says Micaiah's iPad, so I'm sure it's been difficult trying to do it on everything on a tablet. But yeah, just email me and I'll get you a connection. All right, guys, as y'all see, it's end of time. That's how it's happened for every other class. So we don't actually get to have our book discussion, which I was hoping for today. The book discussions are happening though. They're just happening on the class blog. All you need to do is go in, read your peers' responses to kind of see how different people are reacting to the book. Some of the things I found that are interesting, a lot of students are really interested in at first we were all looking at the government's role in a lot of this. So how did they let this slide for so long, and that sort of thing. Of course, Dr. Mona does too. She really loses faith in a lot of the government institutions, even though she's a big believer in effective government and effective policies. But then I had a student who was like, oh my gosh, the people we need to blame, is GM and some of these corporations who've been knowingly polluting the environment. And so I had a student last week say, I'm really mostly interested in kind of this, the corporate greed and how it funnels into these government systems, like putting pressure on government officials to maybe mislead the public. So that might be what you're interested in, right? Others might really be interested in Maslow's needs and like looking at not only Dr. Mona and how we're seeing her just totally struggle, right? Not only with basic needs, but also self-esteem and things like that, but also her patients. So looking at their needs as well. And I'm especially interested in that idea of security. We can feel secure and not be secure, and how that kind of functioned in Flint too. So I'm sorry we don't have time for a book discussion today, but again, if you want to see your peers' insights, the best place to go is the class blog from last week and really looking at people's responses to the reading. Okay. All right.
I have a quick question, really
Yes,
quick.
Sam.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Do we have did you say we have one of those due today or no?
We do not. Mondays, you will not have to do a discussion board because we will meet for class. But you do that on Wednesdays and Fridays. And that's essentially like we were meeting, you know, you have the lecture and then you participate in class discussion.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. I would have Zoom sessions every time, but right now with everything so tumultuous and people's schedules getting thrown all over the place, I think we'll just stick to Mondays and then do the Wednesdays and Fridays on the class blog. All right, any other questions? I know some of y'all have to run. Well, look, y'all are wonderful. You need to take care of yourselves. Check in with me. I'm here. Miss Black's here. You can email either one of us if you need some extra help or guidance, and we can set up Zoom sessions in conference. Like I said, it's 12:52 right now. I'm going to run and grab a quick bite to eat. I'll be in office hours from 1 to 3 if y'all need to stop by and get any extra help. Okay. Otherwise, I'll see y'all on the class blog. I'll be in the discussion board on Wednesday. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, Ellie, I just gave up that class trying to do it. You know, it's just, it wasn't going to happen. But anyway, but I've recorded this one and I'm going to post this class as the kind of class for the day for students. So,
Cool.
All right.
All right. I'm real hungry. I'm going to go eat too.
All right, go eat. Yay. I will see you whenever.
Later. Bye.
All right, bye.